What's going on, guys? SpikeZillion here, back with another video, and I wanted to kind of jump the gun on this card in particular because it kind of came up in the morning, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of crazy. So I wanted to talk about it briefly, talk about the implications of this card, what it could mean for the meta. I don't think that everyone's gonna really agree with all my points here, but I think there's a lot of MAXX haters in the chat. Let's be honest. I think a lot of people don't like MAXX. I am usually for MAXX, to be 100% honest. So, you know, if people are going to click away from the video now, don't click away yet. I understand. I understand. People hate MAXX. I respect that. And this is just me talking about it from a middle perspective, talking about what decks I think will actually not like this card and what decks will not care about this card's existence. Because I do think that this card has potential to be a very powerful card. It's just not going to be anywhere near as good as MAXX. So it's kind of a middle ground. I think this will be played, but maybe not to the fullest extent. We'll see. It depends on the format, probably. So this is a level 4 water aqua. Okay. It basically says, if you control no cards, quick effect, you can discard this card and then apply these effects in sequence. By the way, shoutouts to YG Organization, excuse me. For putting this together, by the way. Each time your opponent normal or special summons a monster from the hand, immediately draw one card. So this is from the hand, so it's not as good as MAXX because it's not going to be doing it from the deck. But there are monsters that get special summoned from the hand pretty frequently that you probably wouldn't have even thought about. We're going to get to that in just a minute. During the end phase, if you have more cards in your hand than the number of cards your opponent controls plus 6, shuffle random cards from your hand into the deck equal to the difference. So if your opponent has 4 cards on the field, any cards, doesn't matter, and then you have 11 cards in your hand, you have to shuffle one of those cards into the deck so that you have 10, because it's the amount they control, which is 4 plus 6 to be 10. So pretty interesting, right? It sounds a lot worse than it actually is. I think realistically this will still be giving you a ton of advantage. We'll be giving you your Nibiru more often than not. It's going to be pretty sick to have Nibiru more often than not because Barone is gone now, if you saw my last video on the tier list reaction, or the banlist reaction. So let's have a look at the tier list and Master Duel meta. Now obviously this is for Master Duel, so it's not going to be fully up to snuff with what we're trying to do today. But it will give us a good idea of what we should be looking out for when it comes to this card. Because we can still look at this and get most of the good decks at face value here. Pretty much all of them are here. Except for, like, I don't know what's going on here, but I guess people just love those decks. So, anyway. First, let's look at the most obvious choice, which is Snake Eye. Now, obviously, with Snake Eye, it's not going to be nearly as good. So, that's a bit of a problem. But that is a meta-specific problem because Konami fucked up and didn't do anything about this card. But, yeah. If they ever do anything about this deck, then we'll be okay. Here's a sample deck from Meta Weekly number 108, second place. You can see that they were playing 3 Chimera cards. Those will be special summoned from the hand. We have Diabellstar, which is also special summoned from the hand. Any of the normal summons would happen from the hand. Kurikara would technically happen, but like at that point it wouldn't even work because you have to control no cards, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. So this is out of the picture. Nibiru, I guess, but again, that's out of the picture because it doesn't make any sense. Basically you'd have to do this in draw phase, and then you have to do stuff in their turn to like make Nibiru happen. So again, like we're just talking about face value. Like Diabellstar, Unicorn, Fenrir are the big 3 here. Any normal summon, so any of the babies that are normal summoned, if they are. Flambridge from hand, if they get a really bad hand, and they absolutely have to special from hand. This will also go into that. So that's kind of scary. Other than that, that's about it for hand summons. So realistically, you're getting maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 total summons from hand. With this exact board, or with this exact deck list, which is not great. That's pretty unfortunate. But, that being said, more cards is more cards. You're still Pot of Greeting here. for the most part. Unless it's like Diabell Star's their only special summon from hand or normal summon, then we have problems. But you're still plus oneing anyway. You're basically just deck thinning at that point. So it's not the worst, you know. I'm not trying to cope here, but like it could. This is just a deck problem, man. This deck really should have got hit more. Pretty disappointed. I really feel like wanted to one would have made sense. That's what they did in the OCG, as you can see. Just makes a lot more sense. Also, probably limiting Fenrir in the TCG would have probably also benefited us quite a bit. But yeah, that's the. It's just a huge problem. Anyway, that is Snake Eyes. Let's have a look at Labyrinth. This is probably not getting affected at all by this. There is very few cards that are going to special summon from hand. Off the top of my head, it's like Lady will do it. I think that's it. Does this special from hand? No. Oh, yes, it does. Yes. So, okay, it's basically Lady and Arius here, which is, again, it's not very good. I guess you could normal summon one of the other maid girls, the servants, but yeah, it's, again, not super great, and that's probably why this deck is pretty high on the rankings for Master Duel meta, is like, a lot of it is not really special summoning on their turn. It's probably why MAXX is so good for them and less good for you, because you're basically just going to MAXX for like 2 summons per turn for the most part. Most of their deck is focused on the traps, so yeah, this is a bad example to look at realistically for what we're trying to do here. Let's keep going. Tierliament is one that, like, okay, we can't look at Tierliament pure, obviously, which is probably what this is going to be more closer to. Yeah, this is definitely more closer to that. This is going to be harder to look at, because we kind of need a pile deck, and this isn't really that. That being said, you can get some stuff out of this. I mean, Havness, Shiren, what is this? Probably this as a normal summon. You have Rhinoheart as a normal summon, right? Does Medora have a special summon from hand for this? Yes. If you have another Earth Fairy in hand, which you don't normally do. So yeah, that's a no. Destrudo, if they're unfortunately hitting it in their hand, they unfortunately draw it, they're going to special that from hand. There's more special summons from hand from this than like the other 2 decks we saw. So I mean, it's not too bad, right? But yeah, like, we're not going to see tier as much as we used to, but the pile decks in question will probably special from hand a handful of times, enough times for it to be a concern. Especially because we still have 3 Perla Rhino in the TCG. There's going to be more special summons from hand than you probably think. So, and as soon as you see Perla Rhino, you could just discard that card to, like, kind of force them to either commit or just pass, right? So it's not too bad. Anyway, that's that. Let's move on. I don't really want to talk about Unchained right now, because they kind of got... They haven't really been that relevant. Let's talk about Branded, because, Branded has some cards that they special from hand, but not much. A lot of it is from deck. I mean, Branded Fusion, you just kind of do that. I guess ideally, if you're in the Branded player's shoes, you probably want to just draw one of the 3 openings and then special Aluber or Cartesia. Ideally, Aluber, I'd assume, with this card being in play. But, like, the hand trap being in play. But, They do more often than not now special Cartesia with fusion deployment, right? So I think, or no, it's not Cartesia. I'm sorry, it's Quem that can be special from Branded opening. I'm sorry, my bad. Stop commenting. But yeah, it'll be more often than not they probably special Quem off of Branded opening these days, and then normal Aluber, which means that there's more potential for this card to be a little bit useful at the very least, but yeah, not a whole lot of stuff to be had here. There's Bistils. Bistils will be a really good example of special summon from hand, actually. So if they do somehow get Saronir and Magnuma, so they go Bestial Rebellion, add the Saronir, for example, and then somehow get Magnuma at some point, that's basically 3 right there if you include the normal summon of a Luber. So that's pretty good. And I'm sure there's another one I'm missing here. Well, there's Druid's Worm as well, but that's probably not happening that turn. Maximus is another one. If people in TCG start playing the Dogmatica package with Maximus, that's another one that would be a special from hand. So that's also pretty good. So yeah, there's a handful of stuff in here. It's worth noting. Voiceless Voice hasn't in Master Duel yet, but we can briefly talk about it. I'm pretty sure the difference is going to be negligible. I think it's going to be pretty much the exact same as what Branded's already doing in the first place. So I don't think this is going to change very much, the Voiceless Voice cards. For this particular hand trap, it's not going to do much different. I don't think they special from hand very much. I think if anything, it's the Skull Guardian, I think, is the only thing. And then, like, normal summon low, maybe, but I don't even think you normally normal summon her. I think you usually special her somewhere down the line. I could be wrong on that. But, yeah. Anyway, that's that. We could talk about Rescue Ace briefly. I don't think it's going to come up very often, but it might. Diabell Star is one of the cards for sure. Poplar for sure, right? It's interesting they're not playing Ash, but they are playing 2 Poplar. That's really strange. I suppose the Bonfire would do that for you, though, eh? So, other than that, I don't remember if they do any other hand special summons. This one does. Do they all special from hand? Or do a handful of them do? That's deck. This is hand. This is hand. Oh, no, this is add to hand. Oh, no, it does special from hand. Does it special from hand? Wow, I guess Rescue Ace is kind of going to be in shambles of this one, because there is a lot of specials from hand, actually. That's very funny. But I assume there's also a lot of specials from deck anyway. I'm pretty sure... Is it Emergency? Yes. Yeah. So, I mean... Yeah, it's scary, right? It's pretty scary. I would be alert of this card if you were playing Rescue Ace, for sure. This is one of those decks, for sure. Now... Okay, Vanquish Soul. This is a great choice, actually. I think this one, actually, does hate this. Bestial Druid's Worm, that's weird. Let's look at a deck list, actually. I guess they are playing them. That's interesting. Well, who's the dragon? Am I crazy? Is there a dragon in their list? There's Worm, Beast Warrior, Fiend. Are they just... I guess they're... Oh, Caesar. Okay. Yeah, okay. I guess I was just losing my mind there. But yes. Very interesting, right? Because there's a lot of specialing from hand from this deck, from what I remember. This card is usually your normal summon, I think, right? Or, like, I think you stake your soul, and you special summon it from deck? Yes. And then the Borger, I think, tags out? Yeah. It tags out a monster to special itself from the hand. You have Fenrir here, which is kind of funny. You have Magnemite and Druid's Worm, it seems. You have Caesar Valius, which also specials from hand, I believe. Yes. So, is there any other ones? This one, too. Yeah, wow. Does this one do that? No. Okay. So, there's a lot, though. Like, there's a lot of cards here that will special from hand. Probably not all in one turn, mind you. If you activate that card, I'm sure, like, on Raisin, they'll probably just pass depending on how good their hand is. Where is Raisin? I'm losing him. There he is. But I guess it's up to interpretation. We'll see how that goes. Because their boards are also not particularly very large. So you're probably not going to get much advantage out of it in the first place. Because if they have, like, a 2 or 3 monster card board, you're only going to have a couple extra cards of advantage, right? So, I don't know. It's very interesting. We'll see. We will see. Okay. So that's that deck. We don't want to talk about Mathmech. Dinomorphia. I mean, this is like all special from the extra deck, pretty much. This is a great one to talk about, actually, because this just got unhit a little bit, right? this is a very interesting deck to talk about. The thing about this is that they're probably not special summoning from the hand much at all. Almost completely not at all, which is pretty interesting. There is a normal summon, but yeah, this deck is going to be really good under this new card, because they don't really do much other than special from deck and then special from extra deck, right? All these cards, they special from deck. This is a really interesting one, actually, because Purely is already going to be sitting pretty with 2 Delicious. No pun intended. But yeah, good, interesting observation there, right? I think that's really strange. We'll see if Purely gets better after that card comes out. We'll see. It's already looking pretty nice with the 2 Delicious. That's nice. I don't think I have to talk about Chimera, to be honest, but we could, I guess, briefly. I think most of the specials is deck. At least I'm pretty sure. This is add. This is special from deck. Yeah, it's mostly deck, isn't it? And it's also runic shit, which is interesting. I would not expect that for this list, but yeah, sure. I mean, runic stuff, sure. But like for the most part, you can see here, like it's either what the fuck? It's either branded or the Chimera stuff, or both, I guess. And Fallen of Albaz, it could be a normal summon if it's going second. And then he he wouldn't be doing that then. Anyway, you get the point. The point is that this is not good for this deck. It's not that this hand trap is going to be bad for Chimera. It doesn't matter. This is another one I was thinking about that gets hit super bad from this hit. My phone is going off over there like crazy. Give me one moment here. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, very funny because a lot of these cards are special from the hand. I don't even know if this does. Is this special from hand? No, it does not. But this does. 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 I keep saying the word to the point of nausea here. Because everything in this deck basically specials from fucking hand, except for like Samsara. You normal summon this shit, so Jesus Christ. This deck is just gonna eat ass basically for most of the game. You're just gonna be adding a million cards. But it's okay because all they did was turbo this stupid fucking piece of shit anyway, so maybe they deserve it. Who knows? They're probably still gonna play though. It doesn't really change anything inherently. They're just gonna not have Barone. They'll just do Dispatter instead, right? Because Dispatter, if you could somehow get your that's the thing, right? Is that Nibiru is going to be a big threat for these guys. So it's weird, right? It's hard to say. I think people are gonna play cross out more often than not with this deck, which is probably not what they want, but that's tough. You are dealt the card you're dealt. That's funny. Flunderies, normal summon, normal summon, normal summon, normal summon, normal summon. Oh boy. You lose. That's funny. I'm just gonna draw a million cards. You better pass on like 3 cards on board max, like M-Pen, Map, and Dreaming Town, because I sort of I'm going to draw so many fucking cards. If you so as consider putting Imperm on the field set, or Book of Moon apparently, or Call By apparently, good fucking luck. I am going to have like 11 cards in my hand. Oh boy, that's pretty funny. Yep. What the fuck is this? I don't even want to read it. I don't even know if I should read it. I probably should read it. I'm not gonna read it right now. This is too much. My brain is not ready for weird tech right now. Cash, similar conversations what we've already had. All these special from hand. It's kind of weird though, because if it's special Unicorn first and then you normal Fenrir through birth, Yeah, then it's gonna be 2 summons from hand. 3rd with Rise Heart. 4th with Scareclaw Cache. Right? So it's a little bit odd. This list is kind of a weird example because it has Pathfinder and it has Gamma. But Pathfinder seems to be the route people are going these days. Overall, though, the point is there. The point is clear. You're probably going to see at least 2 cards drawn because of Rise Heart, if not 3 if they normal summon from birth. So it's pretty good against Chimera because they're gonna make big boards. That's just kind of how they are. But overall, it's pretty run-of-the-mill situation with this card, I think, overall, with this deck. Sword Soul, I think they're going to be affected by Nibiru more than they're going to be affected by this card. Right? Because we have normal summon Moye. You reveal, like, a Tenyi monster. The Tenyis will special themselves from hand, so you're going to draw from that. So, like, maybe, for example, we could go Vishuda first. Or it'd probably be what? Ashuna? Is this the special from deck? I can't remember. Yes. Probably Ashuna, right? Ashuna special first. Link into Monk. And then we go Ashuna special from deck. Then we normal Moye. Moye effect. So that's 2 so far. And then you get Long John Silver. Where's Long John Silver? He's on here somewhere. Wait, is this deck not playing it? What the fuck? Oh, he's right there. I was like, what? And then Long John Silver effect. He's gonna special himself from hand. So that's... What is that? 3 total? Yeah. So, I mean, there's a handful of draws there, right? That's pretty good. Now, I don't know what's going on with all the Super Sams, but I'm assuming these also special from hand. Somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't know what they're doing here. But, yeah. Very relevant, though. Very relevant. This could draw up to 3, potentially, with full combo. And no Barone means big success. But they're probably just going to lose to Nibiru more than the hand trap. So, yeah, whatever. I think that's about it for cards or decks I want to talk about. I think everything else doesn't really matter inherently. We could talk about Unchained, but it probably doesn't matter. Because all of them are special from Graveyard anyway, except for, like, Sharvara, which is at 1 in the TCG. So, I mean, like, people could play this deck still, but I don't think they will. You're gonna normal Tour Guide, right? So I don't know. I don't know about this one. I think this deck is not going to be affected as much, so... Overall, I just think this card's going to be pretty scary, but I think it'll be scary once Snake Eyes die. And I think by the time we get this pack, because it's Infinite Forbidden, they might have done something by then. Who knows? Who really knows? But anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful information to some extent. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time.